Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all an update to my Cardfight Vanguard Thegrea deck profile for April 2024. Big thanks to my buddy Anthony for letting me borrow his Thegrea deck for the update. We did get a new promo, just like Varroa, for Thegrea in the latest lineup for the Cardfight Vanguard promo pack series for the month of April and May. So with it, it helps just to speed up the grade 3 lineup that you're meant to run with the new Epidade de Justice Thegrea for being able to utilize the different Thegrea abilities in your soul, with this new promo being able, just like I said, to go into the grade 3s all the quicker. So we'll go ahead and go through the changes that were made to the deck to run with the new cards, plus the deck also needing just the update with the new format changes of 4 cards in the ride deck and 50 cards in the main. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the ride deck. Our starter is Knight of Integrity Thegrea. When rode upon, if you went second, draw a card. Our grade 1 is the best placement spot for Pink Moth Girl Maple, just so we can get it in the drop zone to be able to call all the quicker as well. Since with this copy of Maple, it is the only copy we are running in the deck for Pink Moth Girl Maple. From your drop, when your grade 3 Vanguard is placed during your ride phase, if you Persona rode this turn and you do not have a Pink Moth Girl Maple on your rear guard, you may call it to rear guard. If you call it, it gets +5 till end of turn. And with Thegrea as your glitter unit on the back row rear guard, when your unit in the same column as this one stands, you may stand this unit. If you do, at the end of the unit, retire this unit. So this is just meant to be called behind your Thegrea, so you can then have it restand with your Vanguard as well. It'll retire, but then you can just call it again when you Persona ride again, which you do quite often in this deck. Our grade 2 is Harsh Training Thegrea. When rode upon by grade 3 with Thegrea and its card name, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 card with Thegrea or Maple from among them. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So just more search power for some of the other cards we run in the deck. When rode upon from our grade 3 Thegrea, which is One Who Walks the Path of Light Thegrea. Having this as the only other copy in the deck as well, because we can set it up in the soul to then use with our other Thegrea units. The normal ride of a unit with Thegrea is also regarded as a Persona ride, and on the Vanguard circle once per turn, you can counter +1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 2 or less unit from among them, call it to rear, and shuffle your deck. If One Who Blooms in the Dark Thegrea is in your soul, choose and use 2 instead. So most of the time, it's just going to be used as an ability in the soul for Epidade de Justice Thegrea. At the end of battle, as you attack, this unit was placed by riding from One Who Blooms in the Dark Thegrea. Discard a card from your hand, choose one of your rear guards, and restand it. You won't use it often, but it's going to be used as more of an ability for your other grade 3 units, which the other grade 3s we run include 4 copies of Epidade de Justice Thegrea. When it's placed by riding from a grade 3 with Thegrea and its card name during the ride phase till end of turn, it's also regarded as having the same card name as this unit you rode upon. Search your deck for up to 1 unit card with Thegrea, put it into the soul, and shuffle your deck. So this can help to set up the other units of Thegrea and its card name in the soul. And on the Vanguard, once per turn, discard a card from your hand, choose 1 grade 3 unit with Thegrea and a different card name from your soul, and ride it as stand. If you rode a card, bind this card, activate Persona Ride. You cannot ride until end of turn. So it just makes so you can go into the needed specific Thegrea that you may have in your soul to make use of as well, with one of those targets being the better one to go through, which we're also running 3 copies of, which is One Who Blooms in the Dark Thegrea, being regarded as a Persona ride when you ride on top of another Thegrea, and also being able to just retire 2 grade 2 or less rear guards, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it, and then also being able to just have a retire of all your opponent's other cards as well. And on the Vanguard circle, once per turn at the end of the battle attack, if this unit is placed by riding from One Who Walks the Path of Light Thegrea, you counter +1, discard a card from your hand, and stand this unit, and it gets drive -1 till end of turn. So more of the added pressure with a restanding Vanguard than you would with a restanding rear guard unit, but still being able to set all these cards up that much more quickly thanks to Epidade de Justice Thegrea, and being able to do so even so more with the Knight of Evil / Mayrig that we run as our new promo unit. For the grade 2s, we're running 4 copies of Atrocious Moth Girl Maple. When from the drop zone, your grade 3 or greater Vanguard is placed during the ride phase. If you do not have a unit with Maple, its card name, you may call this card to rear guard. So you can set this card up on your rear guard circle and then set up the grade 1 Maple while it's in the drop zone also. And at the end of the battle, this unit attacked, Soul Blast 1 or more cards. Choose a card from your soul with the same grade as the sum of cards Soul Blast for this cost. Put it into your hand and put this unit in your soul, setting up more cards in your hand for you to reuse again from your soul as well, thanks to Maple, and then also just being able to make use of being able to Soul Blast the other cards that may be in your soul that we want to set up in the drop zone. We're also running the 3 copies of Retrospective Dragon. When placed on rear, if you have a Vanguard with Thegrea and its card name, Soul Blast 1, discard a card from your hand, search your deck for up to 1 grade 3 or 2 set order, reveal it, put put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck, which we do run the set 3 order, Oath of Vengeance Thegrea, being very, very useful in the deck for setting up more and more power when we Persona Ride with Thegrea. At the end of the battle, as you attack, retire one of your other rear guards, choose one of your glitter units, and gets +5 to end a turn. Just a way to power up Maple with a use of our rear guards being able to do so, thanks to the retire power. For our other grade 2s, 3 copies of Drilling Angel, just for more of the setup in the soul, thanks to this grade 2 unit, just being able to put a card from your drop into the soul, and then check the top cards of your deck for an equal name of that card you put. And for the last of the grade 2s, 4 copies of Spiral Cutie Angel. When discarded from hand during your ride phase, you can Soul Blast 1, put it on the bottom of the deck, and draw a card. And when it's placed on rear guard, if you Persona Road this turn, Counter Blast 1, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose a card from among them, put it into your hand, and put the rest on the top or bottom of the deck. So more setup for some specific cards you may need for revealing cards and searching for the deck to use. And moving on now to the grade 1s, our new promo card, which we are running 3 copies of, is Knight of Evil / May Rig. On rear guard, if your Vanguard's a grade 3 with the Thegrea and its card name, and your opponent's Vanguard's a grade 3 or greater, bind this unit, search your deck for up to 2 grade 3 unit cards with the Thegrea and their different names, reveal them, put up to 1 Epitaph of Justice into your hand, or into among the revealed cards, ride as stand, put the remaining cards revealed into the soul, and shuffle the deck until the end of the turn. If you rode, is also regarded as the same card as the unit it rode upon. So you'll be able to activate the Persona Ride thanks to this card while setting up the 2 different Thegreas into the soul all the more quickly. We only run the 3 because once you set up this combo, it's basically the play you meant to go for. So if you have other copies of this card, you could attempt to repeat it again and then just go for the Epitaph of Justice, which we are running 4 copies of, just upping our chances of being able to add this card to hand. And for the other grade 1s, 4 copies of Soul de Sakab, just to make use for draw power with the setup for our use with our draw power when another unit is placed in the same column as this one. And also the 4 copies of our Sentinel, Aegis Mare Dragon, not running the Elementarius Sanctitude, just so we have more, unit cards to rely on in the deck as well. With our only order unit being the 2 copies of Oath of Vengeance Thegrea, just in case one gets hit in the damage zone for us to be able to search out with our grade 2 afterwards. You play it if you have a Vanguard with Thegrea. In the order zone, if you have a Vanguard with Thegrea and its card name, your Persona Rides, you draw 2 cards instead of 1, and you get +15 instead of +10. So the more you Persona Ride with your Thegrea, the more cards you can also add to your hand thanks to this order. With our trigger lineup consisting of 7 criticals, so 4 copies of Blade Feather Dragon and 3 copies of White Fang Witch Disma for the added pressure with our Restanding Vanguard, with the other being our Alpac. Since we do have the order that gives additional power for our trigger units, we have all the more pressure thanks to the front trigger and an additional 5k guard, with the heals being 3 copies of Palpitation Angel and the 1 copy of Tear Sorceress, with the over trigger just as a tech choice for my buddy Anthony. The over trigger card being the one that gains additional 100 million for one of your units, and also the additional 100 million you would get from the over trigger to begin with. So added pressure when your Vanguard attacks. If you want to run a Martinoa, you can always replace this card for that over trigger also. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Once again, big thanks to my buddy Anthony for letting me borrow the Thegrea deck for the update with the new promo support. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.